This is Stepping Stones lesson 7.3. We are working on division and we are doing quotients and remainders. So these are two very important vocabulary words that we're going to be focusing a lot on. So it says, look at these jar of marbles. Imagine you want to share the jar of marbles, of 34 marbles, equally among 4 friends. So equally means the 4 friends all get the exact same amount. How many marbles will be in each share? How many marbles will be left over? So if I wanted to do 4 groups of 34, I could just start dividing them up and just keep counting. So I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, until I got as close to 34 as I could. Or I can think of a 4s fact that might get me really close to 34. And so I'm going to think of 8 times 4. So I know I can do 3, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I have 8 in each group, I have 32 marbles, and I have 2 left over that I can't split among these 4 people. So that 2 left over is our remainder. The amount that can't be equally split between the groups that we're dividing it into is called our remainder. Our little raccoon says, I shared 34 cubes into 4 equal groups, which is what we did, and there are 2 left over. And we also sort of use the porcupine's thinking, and it says, I thought of a 4s fact that has a product near 34. 8 times 4 equals 32. I then have 2 more. Okay, it says, Step Up says, share each jar of marbles into bags of 5. Write the multiplication fact that help you calculate the number of bags. Then write the amount of marbles left over. So I have 27, and I need groups of 5. So I'm going to think of a 5s fact that gets me really close to 27, and I know 5 times 5 is 25. So I could have 5 bags with 2 left over, right? Because 5 bags of 5 gave me 25, but there's 27. So I would have 2 marbles left over as our remainder. All right, now we're going to do a 5s fact that will get me really close to 34. So I'm going to do 5 times 6 would be 30. And I know that that's as close as I can get, because if I go up 1, 5 times 7 is 35. That's too much. You can't go over the amount that you have. It has to be as close as you can get without going over. So 5 times 6 equals 30. So I would have 6 bags of 5 marbles, and I would have 4 marbles left over. This number right here should always be less than the amount of bags you have. Because if I have 7 marbles left over here, I could have made 1 more bag of 6 marbles and only had 1 left over. So if you want to check your work, this number should always be smaller than this number. Okay. Share these marbles. Write the multiplication fact that helped you calculate the number in each share. So 62 marbles shared by 8 people. So I need to find something times 8 is going to get me as close to 62 as possible without going over. So I know 8 times 8 is 64, so that's too much. So I'm going to go down to 8 times 7, which is 56. And I know that it's this one because the 8 times 8 was too much. So there would be 7 each with a remainder of 62 minus 56 would be 6. Okay, I want you to do B, C, and D on your own. Remember, you're looking for a multiplication fact. This is the number that it's going to tell you you're going to need to multiply. We need 7 groups of something because we have to divide it among 7 people, 5 people, and 9 people. So those are the numbers you're going to be multiplying by, and you're trying to get as close to the number of marbles without going over. Think of a multiplication fact to help you solve each division problem, then write the answer. So this is going to be kind of a quicker thinking one. 17 divided by 5. I know as close to 17 as I can get would be 3, because 3 times 5 is 15. 17 minus 15 is 2 left over. So we're going to be looking for as close to we can get to this number. This number times this number will get us as close to this number as possible without going over. And then we subtract this number minus this number, and that will give us our remainder. Okay. Charlie shares his collection of marbles equally among 5 friends. He then keeps the 4 marbles left over. Figure out how many marbles might have been in Charlie's collection. So we need to figure out something divided by 5 will give us a whole number with a remainder of 4. So we don't want something that's going to be evenly distributed by 5. So I'm going to kind of work backwards on this. I'm going to find a 5's fact, and I'm going to say, okay, 5 times 8 equals 40, right? Well, I know that I need at least 4 more than that because I need my remainder to be 4. So my problem is going to be 44 divided by 5, and I'm going to check my work. So I know 5 times 8 is 40, so I could have 8 groups of 5 would give me 40, and then I would have 4 left over. So he might have had 44 marbles. This is not the only right answer to this problem. I could have done 5 times 5 is 25 plus 4 is 29. So 29 divided by 5 would have been 5 with a remainder of 4. So we don't know how many he had in his collection. We just know that it was 4 more than a 5's fact. And we will be done.